Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to the very center of Moscow. Welcome to a very quiet main road, or what we would call the Garden Ring. They've got it closed off in Moscow today for a few different events, but I thought we'd go for a little walk around Gorky Park. It's just off on my right hand side, and I want to see some of the changes that they've been talking about for the last year, and just see how nice it is today on a Saturday here in Moscow. If you ever do come to Gorky Park, or you are planning to come, there's two different routes that you can come via. Now this road would not normally be closed, and it would be 8 lanes of traffic in either direction. And that's the Krymsky bridge just up ahead, and that would be Park metro station. And very typically most people catch the metro to that station, walk over the bridge, and then right here is the main entrance archways leading in to Gorky Park. And normally this car park would be absolutely full as well, but because the main road is closed, people don't have a way to park their car here. The other option would be to go to Oktoberskaya metro station, which is at the end of the road in this direction, and then the park right in front of us. And they've got a very large event running all over Moscow right now called Summer in Moscow, quite literally, and all the different parks and places have got different thematic displays set up. Of course, naturally, lots of people come to take photographs and to just enjoy the scenery. Of course, the main reason is the park, but when they set up these nice arrangements, it's a whole extra reason to come. And naturally, everybody wants to get photographs. Just the amount of work to set these arrangements up is really something else. Now, I never tend to end up with my own photos of me by the flowers, but we can definitely walk around and enjoy them together. There is a bit of a recurring theme that you might notice amongst the plants and trees. So this entranceway here is temporary, so they'll actually remove this at some point at the end of summer, and then perhaps they'll do something for the next season. But these balloons and different characters from chess, somebody's decided to paint and make into art objects. And of course, the very large structure or archway leading into the park. It is very massive, I will say. But it's so nice how they've made this garden area and chill zone. Is that what they'd call it? Benches and cushions. They've even got the "How do I look" mirror, so I can have a look how I am. Well, maybe not get in the way of someone else having a look. Huh? Sorry. And lots of spots for a photograph. We've not even walked in the park. Just the amount of work that goes into setting these up. And none of this can be permanent. This is all just built over the pavement, so it can all be removed and taken away. But I always wonder where they take it. Do they have a giant storage somewhere in Moscow where they've got all of this decking and all these balloons? Where do they keep them? If anybody lives in Moscow, let me know where they get them from. But it's definitely a good excuse to come and have a look at these different Summer in Moscow exhibits that they've got set up. This is an initiative by the Moscow government, and I think there's probably more than 100 different locations that you can go to enjoy the different parks or different open spaces. Of course, if I want to become super famous, I can join in TikToks. They have girls all over Moscow doing these. If anybody recognizes them, give them a like on their TikTok channel. They do have some music playing on the speakers, so I hope it's not interfering too much. This grand entrance. Now at some point, a lot of years ago, this was gated and you had to pay to come inside, I believe. But now it's completely free and open. You just walk in and enjoy the place. If you're wondering who I am and how you came across this video, I'm an Australian who lives in the Moscow region. I live about an hour and a half from here. This is very close to the center of Moscow. It's not more than a few kilometers to Red Square, where we are right now. Very accessible by all sorts of public transport, particularly the underground or metro in Moscow. But I'm actually originally from Perth, Australia, but I live here in Moscow with my wife, and I make videos about everyday life here in Russia and show you some of the typical things and typical places, and I hope you enjoy them. I am hoping the weather is going to hold out on me today. They did predict rain. However, it's hot and humid and a little bit cloudy. So I'm not sure what the weatherman was thinking, because if you look around, lots of people have a umbrella in their hand, knowing that at some point there might be a shower. So this is the main boulevard here. Now, there is an area by the embankment or by the Moscow River, but they're doing some very large works here at the park, and they've been doing it since last year and then into this year. So some of the areas of the park are closed off a little bit. However, you've still got a huge area of park to walk around without that river area to see. Actually, with the sun shining, it's not doing me any favors with the direction of the sun as I'm walking through the entrance here. Now, the actual park itself, if you were to keep walking to the far end, you can come out at a completely different metro station, and you can walk, I would say, at least 2 hours from one end to the other, now depending on the speed that you were to walk around. So there's a lot to take in when you actually come here. Now what I want to go and see is the new children's playground that they built, which is off to the left, and then of course the fountains, or one of the fountains that they have here. And then the bit that we won't see today is the bit by the embankment, which they are still remodeling. We'll have to save that for a little bit later in the year when it's finished. And the one thing you will notice too when you're looking at the park is just how big it is, how wide it is, and how much space there is. Now, it may look a little bit like a concrete jungle, and I can see that when people post that in comments, but they encourage you to come here with bikes and scooters and roller skates and enjoy the park for what it is, as a park for the people. And this summer in Moscow, there is no better time to experience it. Just having a look back. Pretty sure this is a new archway. There's lots of new things that I don't recognize from only 12 months ago. Since I was here making a video last year, they've done lots of improvements, and they've built lots of new playgrounds for the kids, and it's really all about kids and family when you come to Gorky Park. And they've got this pit right here. They've got the soft rubber matting from the recycled tires, and the kids can slide down and climb up. And it says on the signs there, it's best suited for kids between 5 and 10 years old, and they'll get the most enjoyment out of it. And I'm fairly sure they're all loving it. All the parents hanging around here around the outside. And just so nice what they built here in the last 12 months. They've also got what they're calling the mega swings, and this huge structure that they built with all sorts of different types of swings, and this is for all ages. It's really interesting that there's some signage by each of the different play equipments explaining who can ride them or who can't. They've got the big large swings along the back there. And this area is all brand new in the last year, which is just so amazing what they can build and what they can put in place. And this is all about people just coming into the park, enjoying the afternoon, and just getting some fresh air. Actually, have a look at these large swings. These really are the mega swings. Definitely some of the older kids having a go. How cool is this? A real life sand pit or exploration pond. And it's really cool. You can dig moats and let the water float around. There's water running from the actual tap at the top there. Or I think in Russia it would be a kolonka. Or is it a kolodka? Somebody let me know what the name of it is in Russian. You'll see the young girl using it up the top there. And then all these little areas that people have dug out. There's even these little mini excavators that you can sit on. There's a water wheel. Now, if I was just a few years younger, this would be the coolest thing ever. Actually, they're calling it the seabed. Suitable for kids aged 3 to 11 years old. And I'm pretty sure there's some adults as well who would love to get in there and have a go. And then as each person digs a different moat, the water goes off in different directions. Very, very cool. There's an area called the Toddler Meadow. So they've got interactive things that you can climb on and play on. And again, it's all age specific, so they're trying to build things for people of different ages. Big sand pit. What more do you need? The entire area is called Salute Playground, and they've got different zones set up, and ideally for different age groups as well, from the infants through to, I guess, tweens. Lots of different rules. I think the kids don't bother to read that, they just get involved, and that's about all. And this is the bit I really want to show you. This water playground that they've got. They're calling it a water station. The playground will be interesting for visitors over 3 years old. And they've got these pools. So most of the kids, I think, come with their swimsuits. And then people, I think, just turn up and decide to get in the water and get wet. And there's all these different water fountains and things you can turn and spin. And the water goes shooting everywhere. There's even some floaties in the water as well. So if you want to float around the little mini lazy river, you could. This is proper cool. And it doesn't cost a penny to come and do this. Literally, come to Gorky Park and hang out. We need to know where the adult section is. If this is all the stuff for the kids. All the parents sitting around the outside while the kids having lots of fun. If you think I might have left Gorky Park and gone to somewhere else, this is still inside the park. And this is a man-made beach that they've created. There's sunbeds, chairs, and then you can actually swim in this freshwater pond. And there's all sorts of chairs and sunbeds all the way around. There's even some cabanas. Now this actually is a paid facility, but they do set these up all around Moscow this time of year. I am hoping to go to one where they've got some swimming pools this coming week. But how cool is this? Now I'm going to say it over and over. We are not more than a 20-minute walk to Red Square, and you can swim in a beach, or at least a man-made beach. This amount of construction and building is just something else. This whole section of Gorky Park is all brand new. And of course, you can do what you like when you come to the park, whether you want to pay a few rubles to sit by the beach or you bring kids to use the playground. That's the whole joy of this place. It's a open park for the public, and no matter when you come as well, if you come here during winter, it'll be interesting what they do with this pond, because quite often they've got ice skating here in Gorky Park. So I wonder if they'll convert it to that for winter. They've also set up a small fairground as well, which I don't remember this being here any other time of the year also. And they've got different rides. Now there is a number of theme parks in Moscow that you can go to. However, if you're coming to Gorky Park, you can go on one of the rides. This again is all set up for younger kids, and probably kids under about 8 or 10 years old. Now you can buy tickets for the rides. And this is very cool and a great addition to the park. I think the great thing about coming here is you can do as much as you like or as little as you like. Find a park bench, go for a walk, enjoy all the plants and flowers. This is how people here in Moscow like to spend their weekends. Not playing video games, not sitting in their house, coming for a walk in the city center. Most people would have come here by metro. Not so many people would come by car. There's not that much parking around the park itself, although it's such a big place. Come by metro and discover these different alleyways. You can just about see the towers of Moscow City in the very distance on the other side of the trees there. And you could walk in here all day, quite literally. It's a matter of finding a nice walking route and taking in the scenery, all the plants, flowers. And this place is ever changing, so no matter what time of year you come here, there'll be different plants that they're gonna put in these flower beds and different trees. But I never get tired of coming to this park and walking around. You can see some of the stuff in orange And there is literally hundreds of them walking around and constantly fixing, tidying, and rearranging the grand entrance from the beginning of the video. And then the ponds and water fountains. I think also between last year and this year they've changed the area around the pond and water fountains, and they've given it a chess theme, which is quite interesting. And these giant chess pieces that they put in place. Lots of places to sit here and enjoy this central pond. And then the dancing fountains. And the occasional person who decides to climb in there, although you shouldn't. Oh, what a beautiful place. It's really interesting. If you come here on some of the different holidays in Russia, you might see an occasional person going for a swim and getting wet. It's completely clear water and no problems. The one thing that is nice also coming here is you can come any time of the year. It's open every day, and you can discover another part of the park that you haven't walked in, or you can do that same walk that you do every time and just enjoy Gorky Park for what it is. It's park for the people. I think that's the right way to explain it. Actually, over here they've got some people playing chess. Some aspiring Garry Kasparovs in the making. Hello. Hello. Oh, everybody's saying hello. Wow. Maybe this is the Lady Kasparov champion right here.
No.
Not yet?
Maybe in the future.
Future? Yes. I didn't catch their names, but the couple of different families behind me right here, I just had a chat with them, and actually one of them was my subscriber, and he called me over to say hello. And so nice to be walking in the park with thousands of people and get spotted as I walk around the pond area. So if you do see me around, please say hello, and even have me stop filming for a minute so we can have a chat about life and all things summertime. One question I really do have for everybody watching is, how do you spend your Saturday or Sunday, or perhaps your day off? Would you come to a park and just sit in the shade or on one of the chairs? Would you take the time to go and explore your city where you live and take advantage of all the things that the government do and all the initiatives that they've got set up? Summer in Moscow is quite a big deal for the local administration, and all the events that they put in place, even something as simple as putting chess sets out here, just to encourage people to come to the park, to get involved in some kind of games or some thinking, and just a great way to enjoy the afternoon. I think these videos don't probably give you a true perspective of how big Gorky Park actually is. And I'm only going to see 5 or 10% of it as I'm walking around. And especially when you just want to do a slow walk and take in the scenery and sights and enjoy all the trees and plants and just that air that you can smell that comes from the leaves of the trees. You don't have to go that far from the city and you see places like this. Now they do say that Moscow is one of the greenest cities in the world per square kilometer, and the amount of green spaces that it has compared to other cities around the world. So you've got a lot of places you can go to and a lot of parks. I think they'd have to be more than 100 parks in Moscow. So you've got a lot of places to choose on a weekly basis. Of course, the main thing weather-wise in Russia is we've got to take advantage of these nice days. Now today's overcast, and they did say it was going to rain, but it so far hasn't the whole day that I've been here in the city. But the summer time frame seems to get shorter every year. So when there's days like this, you've got to get out and enjoy it and take advantage where you can. You just need those beautiful blue sky backgrounds. I can't always be promising them in every video. The sheer scale of Gorky Park doesn't really show up on camera, and actually quite a few of the different parks that you go to in Moscow are the same way. If you ever make it out to Vdenha, it's also the same, where it's just everything is built over scale, and things like the gardens are built about 5 or 10 times larger than what maybe an average park somewhere else would be built. And I think being that Moscow is a metropolis city, it's deserving of this large scale design and big wide boulevards and lots of space for everybody to enjoy the same places. As I slowly head on out of Gorky Park and under this incredibly large archway, I really hope you've enjoyed this video and this walk around here in the center of Moscow, and to see some of the changes to Gorky Park and some of the perhaps improvements, and just the amount of work that's gone into some of the changes that they've made. I really wanted to see that children's playground because they were working on that for quite a while. They're also doing some work on the embankment as well, which I think will be open later in the year. So thanks everybody. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more summer in Moscow videos, let me know in the comments. Would you like me to go to a different park or a different place? If you want to follow my Telegram, the link is right here. You can click this. And then if you want to see an old video on the channel, something a little bit different, that link will come up right now. You can click that and keep traveling with Russell. Okay everybody, I'm off on another adventure. Bye.